Hello everyone. What a wonderful Singapore day it is. And it's a privilege to be here in Singapore Fintech Festival, the epicenter for innovation in finance and technology. Today, I'm going to talk about something very important, very relevant, but very, very urgent. Yes, I'm going to talk about sustainable lending and green finance in the digital age. But before we delve into the topic, let me try explaining how sustainable lending can use ESG framework to make the world more sustainable, more green. ESG is a framework used to evaluate companies' performance on non-financial parameters. And when these non-financial parameters which are related to environment, social and governance, when these parameters are incorporated and integrated in the lending assessment systems of financial institutions can play a very vital role in driving sustainable future. Combining these non-financial parameters with the financial parameters, the traditional financial parameters on which the financial institution used to decide on the lending criteria, we have come up with several products. Products like social loan, green loan, sustainability linked loan, and transition loan. Well, I'm not going to delve into these types of loans now. As we navigate through the digital revolution in finance, we need to understand the challenge or the global critical challenge in front of us, which is climate change. But here is a silver lining. Fintech and sustainable lending has got a unique opportunity to address these challenges and to make the future of finance very profitable and very resilient. To understand the magnitude of this opportunity, let's look at the global data. The green finance market is growing exponentially, with projections indicating that it can reach $300 billion annually by 2030. And where does Singapore or Southeast Asia fits in this place? According to the World Bank, Southeast Asia is one of the most promising regions for green finance, with economies being ideally positioned to attract capital for sustainability-focused projects. In particular, green bonds and sustainability-linked loans, very much leveraged by increased regulatory and investor demand. Singapore stands in forefront of this regional movement. The Monetary Authority of Singapore has launched initiatives such as Green Finance Action Plan and $2 billion Green Investment Program, aiming to bring substantial capital into green projects. This commitment places Singapore as a green finance hub, not only benefiting the economy, but also addressing climate-related vulnerabilities that Southeast Asia faces. Another excellent example of Singapore commitment is Green Bond Grant Scheme, which helps to reduce issuance costs for companies seeking green finance. Since its inception, the scheme has facilitated billions of dollars in green bond issuance, supporting projects on clean energy, sustainable infrastructure finance, and effective water management. Now, as we understand that there is plethora of opportunity in sustainable finance, we need to understand how we can grab that opportunity as a bank. With this, I present 3 blocks to you. The first one, redesigning the lending frameworks, strategies, and workflows. This slide gives a very comprehensive view how banks can redesign their lending frameworks, strategies, and workflow. Credit policy and planning is the cornerstone of this transformation. The banks can check out their asset portfolio, the loans which they are having, and check how exposed they are to environment, social, or governance. Banks can also do the market assessment. What type of penalties are there in environment, social, and governance stuff, and according to that, they can maintain their portfolio. Banks need to decide on their risk tolerance framework. What kind of portfolio they might want to have? What kind of industry they might want to focus? What industry they might want to evaluate? Bank might need to change their lending guidelines. The next one, loan origination and credit approval, is the place where we put all those principles in action. We evaluate the ESG parameters for different industries. Since all the industries are different, the ESG parameters of those industries has to be different. Stringent ESG integrated checks, structuring sustainable loans, doing the ESG assessment of the borrower, all this would be covered here. Then we come to the loan management and servicing, which is a continuous process where credit reassessment of the borrowers is done. You need to check out that the loans which you have given, the green loans you have given to your borrowers, are they emitting a lot of pollution? Are they following the environmental guidelines which you have agreed with them in your terms and conditions? If they are not agreeing to that, if the emissions are high, if the social stuff is not compliance, or there is any covenant oversight, you need to negotiate, and if required, non-compliance termination should be followed. Loan recovery and collections should be done very ethically and very responsibly. You need to analyze your portfolio. You need to segment the portfolio to check out what kind of loans recovery you can outsource, and what kind of loans you can recover yourself. You also might need to do circular asset management. And the next one, developing tailored ESG criteria. So as we all understand that every industry is different. Every industry has some kind of emission which might be different than others. Every industry can socially affect a different type of audience. So we have to have industry-specific parameters into our system, which should be very much customized industry-wise. And that industry parameters will drive our ESG score, which is the quantitative thing which we can put into our lending engine or credit assessment to drive this sustainability, to drive the borrower's profile, to understand whether the intentions of the borrower is right or not. We have to integrate climate risk model, emission risk model into our assessment. Now we talked about block 1, redesigning lending framework, and the critical part, developing industry-specific criteria. Let's talk about process digitalization in sustained lending, which is putting all the 2 blocks for digitalization. And that's what we do at Nucleus Software. And now it's a complex part where all the data which is coming from internal sources, external sources, ESG rating platforms, all this data is fed into a lending engine, massaged, cleaned, and analysis is done for the decision making, for making risk strategies and driving out the ESG score. We analyze the sustainability practice and how that will meet the required climate initiatives. Once we are done with it, we have to perform regular monitoring and reporting of the same. You need to check out whether the projects financed by you are doing the emission as per the agreed terms and conditions. If not, you need to raise the red flag. Now, it's a complex system to make. But does it look as easy as it is? It is not easy as it looks. There are a lot of challenges around it. There are challenges like ESG data management. The data for ESG analysis is not right. There are challenges with respect to skills. How to have those skills for ESG assessment. And one of the important challenge, greenwashing, where enterprise try to stretch the truth with deceptive marketing techniques. Yeah, of course there are challenges, but there are solutions to it. I will not go in very detail here. I will just jump onto the last slide, which talks about the path to sustainable lending. The path to sustainable lending is simple in concept, as we have seen in block 1, but it's complex in implementation. And we at Nucleus Software can make this path very easy for you. We had been known as a lending powerhouse, and we can definitely help here. We have the power to shape the future. Please remember, the decision which we make today will ripple back to us with time. And I urge all of you, whether you are an investor, a banker, a regulator, or technology person, to contribute to this urgent requirement for the planet and help to make a sustainable future. In case you are looking for some advice on the sustainable lending systems, I'm available at Nucleus Software at hall number 2, B236. We'll be looking forward to welcome you. Thanks a lot.